Hello guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Ultraman. I know it's been a little while here, but we've relocated offices. We're now in the brand new zone, and it's good to be back. Now, I know that before we were kinda in the middle of a different game, which was Abandoned. What have I been up to? Well, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we're going to be doing something entirely different to start this off. As you see here, it's none other than the famous Sega CD. And you may not know, but it's actually a very difficult system to record for Let's Plays. So I'm trying to set myself ahead here. About other websites, but I still think YouTube in 2015 to be narrating video games that came out literally 26 years ago, it's a good place to be. I'm sorry, I think it actually came out 20 years. Anyways, as I said, it's a notoriously hard system to record for, but I've actually found a way around that. We're going to be just recording straight to a DVD burner. You can get these at your local thrift shop. If you're lucky, they still cost like $200 on the internet, which is ridiculous. Don't pay that. But because I have the Sega CD and the DVD burner, you actually don't have to buy it at all. You can just watch along with me. And because I have been unemployed for 8 months, if you do want to donate, it would be greatly appreciated. There's going to be a link to site in a second. Now, the game we're going to be playing today is one of the most infamous for the Sega CD, and that game, of course, is Snatcher by Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid. This was one where Konami let him, you know, try out a plotline game. One interesting thing about Hideo Kojima is many of the mass shootings that have happened over the past decades, in the situations where it was a young white offender, the antisocial white male, quite commonly would list Metal Gear Solid, Hideo Kojima's main video game, that was usually listed in their favorite video games. Now, that might just be consistent with socially isolated young males, or it might have a deeper resonance. We could find out together and see what happens in Snatcher. Now, I've already I've ran through it once, seeing as I am unemployed. It gives me the time to practice so that we won't really be lagging you guys behind where I don't know how to do something. So you can play this with a gun as well, but we're just going to use the controller. It's pretty simple. Use the typical running mechanisms. Now, a lot of people aren't familiar with the Sega CD, or have heard really bad things about it. There's about 100 games for it, and about 20 of them are broken. This would be probably one of the better ones. Here we see a dedication to Cyberpunk. This game is very... I'll let it talk.
June 6, 1996. A mysterious explosion destroys the Chernobyl research facility near Moscow. Lucifer Alpha, a powerful biological weapon under secret development there, is released into the atmosphere, creating a deadly biohazard. Carried by the trade winds, Lucifer Alpha spreads throughout Eastern Europe and Eurasia, destroying 80% of the populace. Half of the world's people die. The greatest biohazard in history later becomes known simply as the catastrophe. But at this time, who could have possibly imagined that the ultimate biohazard wouldn't occur for another half-century? 50 years later, mankind faces its greatest crisis. the appearance of a mysterious android life form. Its purpose and origin are unknown. Is it a new form of weapon? Or perhaps an invasion from some other world? They appear during winter, killing humans and infiltrating society by taking the place of their victims. Employing an artificial skin, they can sweat and even bleed. Part organic, part machine, they're almost impossible to distinguish from those they kill. As they steal their victims' bodies in order to take their place, these mysterious invaders become known as Snatchers.
Pretty cool. So, as you can see, it's very cyberpunk. Nice music. It's one of the best things about it. The Sega CD uses its special, Sega CD sounds. You know, it's a CD audio quality soundtrack, but it really has its own uniqueness. A lot like the 90s Yamaha synthesizers, even the late 80s ones, which is partially why I do like Sega of this era. Growing up with Nintendo, I didn't really play it that much. Actually, I didn't grow up with a Nintendo either. It's probably why I'm a grown man and still playing these games. So, any parents watching, get your kid the system out. They won't dedicate their young adult lives, but they still might. That's just kind of the gap we're free with. Wasn't working designs, I don't think. I think it was it wasn't they actually did it. There's a lot of games on Sega CD and Sega Genesis by etc. But the good translations, the content still being very Japanese. Weird, quote unquote, as the common misconception being that Japanese culture in general is weird and unsettling. I think it's really an overgeneralization, but the good news is there is a lot of that stereotype in this, which is interesting. So nice use of breakbeats. I like the soundtrack. It reminds me a bit of Earthbound, just in different genres it covers. But you know, it's still a different atmosphere. It's very much trying to be an adult game. You probably shouldn't be playing it if you are younger. The graphics now are probably considered pretty harmless for anybody. There is some pretty crazy lore in it, which we'll be going through. I just like letting everyone play through because this aesthetic and style of graphics is really one of my favorite. Reminds me of Akira and other post-apocalyptic scenarios. But yeah, the main influence really is going to be William Gibson, the guy who did Neuromancer. It's very Neuromancer-y. Similar time.
How was work? Everything okay?
Gillian, what is it? What's wrong?
Jamie, I've become a junker.
A junker? Gillian, but why?
Jamie, you know why. It's the only way we can regain our lost memories. Snatcher is the only word that keeps coming back every time we try to remember our pasts. I have to face them to find out why.
Yes, but I can sense that there is something terrible hidden in our past. And if we remember it, it will destroy us.
Jamie! I'm going now. Jamie!
What? I can't hear you!
Gillian Seed, estimated age 31. 3 years ago, He and his wife, Jamie Seed, are taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. Both Gillian and Jamie suffer from severe amnesia. Their memories of events prior to being picked up in Siberia lost in a mysterious mental fog. 2 years ago, after a vain attempt to rebuild their marriage, Jamie and Gillian separate. Following extensive special military training, Gillian is ordered to report to Neo-Kobe City as a junker, effective today.
So 10 minutes of intro. This is, it's kind of where video gaming went, where it's more storyline things. But I do like, this e-graphic novel sort of thing. It actually predated, well, not really predated the popularity of graphic novels, but was around kind of consistent with it. But it's really like the choose your own adventure. If you've played those, Sierra, it's a really awesome company. Actually, one of the first Let's Plays I watched was of a Sierra game, Escape from New York. And I do like the similarities between this. So it's my pleasure to, provide the exact same thing. Maybe this is the first Let's Play you've watched. You're probably a little late, but maybe it's better that you never even watched one to begin with. But too late, you're watching it. Here you go. We're at Junker headquarters. Being a Junker, well, it's going to explain itself, so I won't go into a big monologue right now. This is Mika, the secretary. So now we have options of entering, looking, or investigating. Let's just try and enter. See, now this is most of the game. So you'll have a situation, and you'll have to do a certain number of, these choices before it unlocks further objectives. Now, sometimes I'll probably forget, and it'll get a little bit repetitive, because sometimes it is kind of complex. You have to do absolutely everything. The game can be overly thorough.
I'm Gillian Seed. I've been assigned to Junker headquarters effective today.
Oh, you're Mr. Seed. Please forgive me. My name is Mika Slayton. I'm the administrative assistant and operator here at Junker headquarters. Very pleased to meet you.
Now we can look, investigate, talk, and ask. Look is generally, it's kind of weird because it'll still involve an interaction, but it's generally how you uncover things. Interestingly enough, usually you have to look, see something, then investigate, then look again if you want to pick it up or whatnot. But let's check out the plate. Okay. Here we have the traditional CAD personality, commonly popularized in this kind of game. It's one of those pod-type reception units where the operator sits in a shielded capsule. Okay. So here we have protective shield for Snatchers. Snatchers have attacked the Junker headquarters before, which would make sense. I mean, this is the only group of people standing up against these Snatcher things. What a Snatcher is still kind of vague, but we'll let that unfurl. We check out a camera. The chief has access to all the video cameras. Now let's talk to her. Bit of humor involved. So here we see Snatchers are, employed. Not employed. Junkers are employed to stop Snatchers, which are a bioroid, as it's referred to. Junker's job is to identify Snatchers who have infiltrated society and eliminate them. Neo-Kobe. This is the first time in town, And it's very much based on kind of Gibson's mythology. In Neuromancer, he talks about kind of a post-apocalyptic world where everyone's living in Japan. And I believe the name of the city in there is Outer Heaven as well, which does show up in this game. But here, as she explains, there's a lot of diverse people. It talks about race kind of weirdly, even for the 90s, but maybe that's the translation. Here we go. You know, he's trying to hit on her. But let's see if we can enter now.
Mr. Seed?
Gillian's fine. You can call me Gillian, Mika.
Okay, Gillian. I'll open the main door and show you around headquarters.
So now we're in the headquarters. Just do this in order, and it's going to be a bunch of cutscenes again.
Chief Cunningham, Gillian Seed is here. I brought him in as you requested.
Thanks for coming, Seed. I'm Benson Cunningham, the Chief of Junker Operations.
Gillian Seed. I've been transferred here from the 17th Special Forces Division.
I've heard all about your special training in the military, Seed. I hope you'll put it to good use on your new assignment here. By the way, I understand you're suffering from amnesia. Any sign yet that your memory's coming back?
I'm afraid not. I still can't remember a thing from before the Army picked me up 3 years ago.
You're married, aren't you?
Yes, but we're separated now. She has amnesia as well, and without any memories between the two of us, I'm afraid there was very little to base a good relationship on.
I can see your point
I
there.
recognize some of the voice actors. I personally don't know their names, but they do sound familiar, particularly Gillian and the Chief. Check out his room. There's a monitor, you can see illustrated there. So it's funny, it does predict a lot of things that now are present in our internet world. Everyone's very, tapped into information. Now, granted, these are security experts, but nowadays we all have access, be it through your iPad or your laptop. Neo Kobe sticking out. Very cool. He's got an inflatable chair. Which fits with the 90s projection of what the future would hold. Already looked at everything. Let's investigate. Let's try investigating the Chief. Alright, Chief. So, yeah, you can, if you do anything multiple times, it's generally got kind of a snarky comment, but sometimes you forget, just press it a few times. Here's a little, background on what exactly the monitor is. There's a funky picture in the corner. Doesn't want us touching it. And it's a robot sofa. Employing chaos system technology. I don't know if that's supposed to be chaos theory. I don't even really know what chaos theory is, except from, Jurassic Park, which I guess came out a year earlier, or was it the same year? I think the same year, so maybe he saw Jeff Goldblum, or maybe the translator did. So Junker headquarters was made a year ago. It's only a year old, separate from the police. Junker operations started in August of this year. Just so you know, it's now Christmas time. I forget how I know that, but it does get explained. They circumvent the police, talk to the government's intelligence agency, so Japanese FBI. Here are the special rules. Job is to get rid of these android imposters. The Junker must not harm innocent civilians. The subject may not be physically investigated or restrained unless there is irrefutable evidence that exists that they are in fact a Snatcher. And a Junker is required to assist and support civilian bounty hunters. Now, anytime it's in red, it's usually something sort of important, but there's other colors that show up as well. Red being the least important. If it's green, usually it means a bit more. But blaster, navigator, and turbo cycle, those are the rules. don't have to remember them. So, at this point, you know, we pretty much get it. Have to stop the Snatchers. Let's ask about the staff. There's the chief. There's a guy named Harry, who's the engineer. Then there's Mika. She's the secretary, but it also describes her as a junker as well. 3 years ago, Snatchers appeared. I have no idea where they came from or what they want. They kill their victims and then they replace them.
That should be enough to make your duties as a junker quite clear. This is your junker ID card. It will identify you as a junker. Carrying it allows you to exercise your special authority.
I see. Sort of like a police officer's badge, huh?
And here's some money. It's not much, but you'll need it to carry out your investigation.
Cash?
Credit cards aren't accepted in some regions of the city. You'll need this sooner or later.
Sounds like it's a rough place out there.
Go see Harry, the engineer. He's got your equipment
So
ready for
we
you.
have money. It's unlimited. It only really comes up in certain areas of the game. And we're off to the engineer's room. So we can't do that yet. It wants us to explore a little bit further. Here's our office. Jean-Jacques Gibson. They actually incorporate French even in the American translation, which is kind of cool. Gibson being a little nod to William Gibson. There's a couple authors that get shouted out. I'll do my best, to go over each of them. Look around. You may or may not know there were a lot of Japanese dating simulators that were kind of the same system as this. This would be considered one of the few that doesn't incorporate that, and there's going to be a lot of options that kind of tease that, where you can flirt with the female characters. But we're going to skip all that. Just kind of makes the game look more dated and offensive. But yeah, we're not going to read it anyway, so that's fine. Engineer, he's a bit of a lush, but he's a friendly and sweet old guy. And, okay, this is the story of our co-worker, Gibson. His wife got killed. So I guess I'd assume she became a Snatcher, or maybe didn't. Katrina's Jean's only child, Jean, pardon me. That's kind of creepy. It points out that she turned 18. Here's the computer room. Now, this would be much like our modern internet, which was there in 1994, but wasn't really popularized. Remember, my first time on the internet was in 1993, and I actually used it to look at a GeoCities website of pictures of Mars. Now, there is a joke. I think it's already not popular anymore, but it used to be, people would say, hey, do you want to see a picture of Mars? And they would have taken a picture of their balls, as it were, and they show it to you closed up, and you say, no, that's balls. And they're like, haha, yeah. But maybe, I don't know, I try and tell that story. No one else has really had it happen to them, so maybe that's not the case. But if you want to repopularize it, say, hey, want to see a picture of Mars? In case you're thinking of Snapchatting that to someone or whatnot, you could still get in a lot of trouble, face a lot of charges. This is just some mumbo jumbo about, the computer. Let's look around the area. Forget if it'll let me log in. Alright. Can I use it? I guess not. Let's go to the shooting range. Alright. Here's face value. It's a pun. Thanks, Hideo. This is where we practice. This is the only really interactive section of the game. But let's find out a bit more supporting info on our supporting cast. Harry's won 3 Nobel Prizes and the Fields Prize. Thought they only award that to one person per lifetime. But, they really want us to value just how great this guy is. Junker's got an analysis robot. Quite a combination. Robots are called navigators. Gibson. Mediums. A bit of foreshadowing there. She's a model. She's quite cute. Let's try and practice. Alright, so now we get her ray gun. Press A to draw and then C to fire. You can put your gun away, but you want to keep it out for practice. Now we want to shoot snatchers, but not civilians. I screwed up a lot. See how I do this time. Oh, shit. This one. Let's get the nose. I've already played it. It's a bit tricky. Just shoot the civilian. Alright. Need to work on accuracy. Fine. We'll go see Harry. Oops, wrong room.
Oh, good. Harry's back.
Great to meet you. You're Gillian Seed, right? Haven't we met somewhere before?
No, I don't believe so.
Really? I guess I must be imagining things.
Now we can look around the room. See what's what. Seems familiar, but we don't know where. We do have amnesia, so you never know. There's a poster on the wall. I don't know why my buttons are freezing up. Don't look at the clothes. Poster. Printing technology has been used. It's pretty fragile. So he's got an old poster. We don't know why. And there's an old photo as well. I don't know why my buttons are sticking. Taken from a larger photo. Let's ask about navigators.
I know, I know. All right, allow me to introduce the Navigator, which I designed especially for you. Hey, Metal Gear, get out here. Metal, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, Gillian. I am Metal Gear Mach 2. I am programmed to be your personal assistant.
Metal Gear? That's a pretty weird name.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you.
I think he's turning red. I took his basic design and his name from the Metal Gear Menace of the late 20th century. But quite unlike that Metal Gear, this one was designed for peaceful purposes.
Nod to his previous video game, Metal Gear, in which the whole thing is around you're a soldier trying to find the enemy creature that is known as Metal Gear. It's not a creature, it's a robot. But in this, he's like a little tag-along Billy Crystal type annoying thing. But we'll get to that as it continues. So let's ask about blasters.
Oh, that's right. Don't panic yourself. I got it right over here. This is your blaster, the official weapon of a junker. It's got full user feedback circuitry, adjusting itself to your reaction time. In other words, it's just as good as you are. What do you think? Here, see how she feels.
Dirty Harry reference. It actually looks like the Robocop
It's
gun.
unbelievably light.
You bet it is. This ain't one of those ray guns the Army uses. She's put together with the latest carbon polymers and ceramics, not affected by heat one bit. And her ergonomic design optimizes both functionality and firepower. Well, what do you think, Gillian?
I'll take it.
So, they don't know anything about Snatchers, never catch one. Go really well, you can't really destroy them. So here, we find out that you gotta shoot them in the head. That's what we need to practice. This game would be really shitty with a light gun, just knowing what the systems are like, but if you have played it, then it's really it's tricky at those parts. If you can do it with light gun, then more power to you. Here he doesn't know why he has the photo. He's just got this little piece. For some reason, the photo doesn't have his parents in it, so he's been pretty much an orphan. Let's see what else we have to ask about. And my controller's doing the thing where it won't really press. For some reason. Let's try and fix that. Oh, I might have broke it. Come on. Oops. So, sometimes it can reset. Didn't save anything.
I'm Gillian Seed. I've been assigned to Junker headquarters effective today.
Oh, you're Mr. Seed. Please forgive me. My name is Mika Slayton. I'm the administrative assistant and operator here at Junker headquarters. Very pleased to meet you. Mr. Seed?
Gillian's fine. You can call me Gillian, Mika.
Okay, Gillian. I'll open the main door and show you around headquarters. Chief Cunningham, Gillian Seed is here. I brought him in as you requested.
Thanks for coming, Seed. I'm Benson Cunningham, the Chief of Junker Operations.
Gillian Seed. I've been transferred here from the 17th Special Forces Division.
I've heard all about your special training in the military, Seed. I hope you'll put it to good use on your new assignment here. By the way, I understand you're suffering from amnesia. Any sign yet that your memory's coming back?
I'm afraid not. I still can't remember a thing from before the Army picked me up 3 years ago.
You're married, aren't you?
Yes, but we're separated now. She has amnesia as well, and without any memories between the two of us, I'm afraid there was very little to base a good relationship on.
I can see your point there. That should be enough to make your duties as a junker quite clear. This is your junker ID card. It will identify you as a junker. Carrying it allows you to exercise your special authority.
I see. Sort of like a police officer's badge, huh?
And here's some money. It's not much, but you'll need it to carry out your investigation.
Cash?
Credit cards aren't accepted in some regions of the city. You'll need this sooner or later.
Sounds like it's a rough place out there.
Go see Harry, the engineer. He's got your equipment ready for you.
Oh, good. Harry's back.
Great to meet you. You're Gillian Seed, right? Haven't we met somewhere before?
No, I don't believe so.
Really? I guess I must be imagining things. I know. All right, allow me to introduce the Navigator, which I designed especially for you. Hey, Metal Gear, get out here.
Check. Check. Test. 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 Check.
Metal, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, Gillian. I am Metal Gear Mach 2. I am programmed to be your personal assistant.
Metal Gear? That's a pretty weird name.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you.
I think he's turning red. I took his basic design and his name from the Metal Gear menace of the late 20th century. But quite unlike that Metal Gear, this one was designed for peaceful purposes. Oh, that's right. Don't panic yourself. I got it right over here. This is your blaster, the official weapon of a junker. It's got full user feedback circuitry, adjusting itself to your reaction time. In other words, it's just as good as you are. What do you think? Here, see how she feels.
It's unbelievably light.
You bet it is. This ain't one of those ray guns the Army uses. She's put together with the latest carbon polymers and ceramics, not affected by heat one bit. And her ergonomic design optimizes both functionality and firepower. Well, what do you think,
so now we
Gideon?
have our gun.
I'll take it.
We're gonna learn a bit about Snatchers. Oh, we already know that. Splice in here. More or less. 3, 2, 1. This is where we left off. Alright. So we've asked about everything. Let's investigate Harry. So Metal Gear wants us to carry him while we run. Now this guy's kind of going to be sort of like your inventory. There's a couple cool features. You can save, and he's also a cell phone. There's also this use light command, so if you have to explore a dark room, then you can show. And yeah, the video phone. So it was funny, I remember the video phone being like this cool thing that was going to happen any year. Now we've got Skype. Doesn't seem
I have a video phone call from Jean-Jacques Gibson coming in. Connecting.
Junker HQ, this is Gibson. I've cornered a probable male snatcher. I'm in the abandoned factory in the M district. Request immediate backup.
Gillian, that means you. You better head out right away. Jean needs your help.
This is our first
We must
job.
hurry. We'll use a turbocycle to travel to the scene.
This is the whipping
Be careful,
theme
Gillian.
song of Snatcher.
This is a turbocycle, specially designed for junker use. In addition to three-wheeled ground travel, it is capable of hovering and high-speed flight. The vehicle is also VTOL capable, so takeoffs and landings in narrow areas present no difficulty.
A flying tricycle, huh? I just came in one of these things.
Now,
We have been
fly
assigned
means
this
you
vehicle
lose
for use in our
fly, I don't
investigations.
know. I guess you can drive or fly. Let's just enter it, get started. Ruins.
Now departing for the abandoned factory.
Bit of driving music.
My first day on the job, and now this. Ace Junker Gibson has cornered a suspected snatcher. I wonder if this guy really is a snatcher. Guess I'll find out now if all that training really paid off.
Very cool art direction. Could create a whole Tumblr site. Just, neat Sega CD images. I think, some idiots have already done that. Maybe I'll make one too. So I'm gonna look around. Pretty spooky. I do like Snatcher because it uses the Sega Genesis sound chip, which gives it that cool, I guess now dated sound. But it does really hold up. You can't really recreate it that well. Other things, you just need the classic sound. You have to look at a certain thing before you put it in. Just go through all the process. Thanks for being a smart ass. Reinvestigate. Uh-oh. A blood-curdling scream.
Oh no!
What was that?
A male scream. Perhaps something has happened to Jean-Jacques. Gillian, please use extreme caution. I read multiple moving objects within the factory. This could indicate the presence of Snatchers or Insectors.
Insectors? What in the world's that?
A spider-like robot used by Snatchers as security devices. Though compact in
Let's get
size,
spooky.
they are armed with needle guns. Use extreme caution.
Alright. It's advising us to save. I'll show you how to save. Because, you wind up emulating it, or you do have a Sega CD. That is one sweet thing. If you do buy the Sega CD itself, it lets you burn games. It doesn't have any copyright protection. So, like other systems where you have to jailbreak it or whatnot with a mod chip, the Sega CD, they never expected people to have CD burners. Now they're already obsolete, so you can actually buy the CDs for pretty cheap too. And Snatcher, normally this game, it's going for like $300 US to get it. And personally, I don't see much point, spending all kinds of money on CD games because they burn out anyways. People say, it could take 50 years, but that's just really risky. If you scratch it, you're completely screwed. So here we have...
What the?
It's Little John.
Little John?
Gibson's robot.
Yes, Jean-Jacques
has been
Gibson's personal
destroyed.
navigator.
Or so it looks. Let's check out the ceiling. Oops. Alright, here he is. So he's destroyed beyond repair. Could have happened to him. I'm sorry if I'm impacting the atmosphere. It's actually, kind of creepy, even in a modern day when you're playing it. You don't really know what's going on. They're almost landing on the little robot, which might explain the sparks. Let's investigate him. Hit by a laser cannon. Nearly all of his circuits are burned through. His memory. So there's an example of blue lettering. Really want to pay attention to that stuff. So Gibson's probably screwed. So the memory chip.
Well, what do you think? Can you get this memory chip out of there in one piece?
I will attempt it. Now retrieving memory chip.
Hooray.
Memory chip retrieved.
Now let's move on to the next thing. figure. Let's take a look at him.
Oh, dear God.
So once again, with Sega's edgy attitude as far as gaming goes, they were for sure, playing it up with this. You don't see a decapitated man in any of the Nintendo releases. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. You might find it pretty traumatizing. So someone has twisted his head off. Let's see if they're still around. Let's look at the corpse. It's on the ground. Let's investigate. This is blasters on the ground. It's an old type blaster. Kind of filling in his curmudgeonly character. Didn't want to upgrade. Let's look at him. The corpse, I can pretty much guess. Let's check out his clothes. So I think partially why he's decapitated, they really want to confirm he wasn't a Snatcher. As we might have been concerned. Now we will investigate the corpse. Something's in his right hand. Let's look at it. Alright, let's investigate. Key. So, yeah, as I was explaining further, sometimes you have to do like an annoying, continuous look, investigate. So now we have hair and skin samples. I think we have to look at them. Maybe not. Skin sample, there we go. It actually looks
Now
like
analyzing recovered tissue
yes.
sample. Analysis complete.
Delivered.
Results on the display. 1. Enzyme antibody analysis indicates subject is blood type
But as
O,
you can
Rh
see, it's
factor
the
negative.
monitor
2.
on his shoulder.
Chromosomal analysis of cells in the sample reveal 46XX. Subject is female. 3. Cell component distribution indicates presence of artificial protein compounds. 4. Number of melanocytes in sample indicates that subject is Caucasian. The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the tissue sample, a cluster of skin cells, was scraped from the subject during a struggle with Jean. These skin cells almost certainly came from a female European, blood type O negative Snatcher. Now analyzing recovered hair sample. Analysis complete. Results on the display. 1. Chromosomal analysis of cells from the papilla and root reveal 46XY. Subject is male. 2. Hair color, brown. Hair structure reading of 65 indicates European subject, wavy hair. 3. Attachment of root structure and thickness of the base of the strand suggest hair was pulled out of follicle. 4. Enzyme antibody analysis indicates subject is blood type A, Rh factor negative. 5. Cell component distribution indicates presence of artificial protein compounds. The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the strand of hair was pulled from the scalp of Jean's attacker during their struggle. This strand of hair almost certainly came from a male European, blood type A negative Snatcher.
So there's 2 of them that probably attacked him. I think I've got everything. Oh, wait, no, there's one more thing.
An analysis of Jean's stomach reveals a major lesion on the caloric region of the gastric membrane.
So, Jean had an ulcer, huh?
Yes. In addition, I read a substantial quantity of partially digested organic compounds.
Organic compounds. If you can determine the composition and the degree to which the food's been digested, we may be able to figure out where
Let's
Jean's been.
investigate those organic compounds.
Now making incision in Jean's stomach to analyze organic compounds present. Analysis complete. Results on the display. Results of the analysis indicate the organic compounds are primarily composed proteins that have been exposed to digestive acids for approximately 3 hours. Amino acid structure of the protein suggests the meat is that of a buffalo.
Buffalo meat?
Yes, buffalo meat. The results indicate that Jean ate buffalo meat somewhere about 3 hours before he was killed.
There's a little hint for us. He's been eating buffalo meat, and it was about 3 hours ago. Now, as I said, there's one more thing. There's actually 2 more things. So we've searched the body. Let's check out his clothes again. Search the house. What could it mean? How do I take it? Oh yeah, I think I investigate scrap of paper. Alright, so we got it.
I'm reading movement.
Couple goobers.
Snatchers?
Unable to confirm. I suggest we investigate.
I really like that song. Shouldn't have cut it short. It's kind of the Snatcher theme song. But it'll be back. Once again, yeah, it does kind of remind me of the Earthbound composers Hip Tanaka and the other guy. I forget his name. He worked on Mario and a bunch of other ones as well. So we can't hear these guys. Oh. And he's sneezing. And we can hear a sound in the distance. Timer. Doesn't sound good. Try turning the volume up. So there's a little interactive point. If you can't quite hear it, you turn it up. But there is a distinct beeping. From the direction of Little John. Let's check it out. Uh-oh.
Whoa!
Time
Run
bomb!
for it.
Evacuate
Okay, so they're
immediately.
telling us to
There's no
save.
time.
But screw that. Let's just get out of here. Uh-oh. So here's our first gun battle. They killed me a few times. The first. Let's see if I can do better. It does get harder than this. Your target automatically resets to the center, just like an N64 controller. So generally it's just a quick reaction. But if they do start shooting at you, you notice it.
We're getting out of here!
Sorry, I cannot go with you.
What's wrong with you? Hurry it up!
I am incapable of locomotion.
What on earth are you blabbering about? Let's go! It's gonna blow!
Please save yourself. I am paralyzed with fear.
Oh, I can't believe this stupid robot! Come on!
Jeez, my ears are really ringing.
That's because you left the volume turned up.
Damn snatchers.
There is no need for concern. I have stored all the information about the evidence and the area in my memory. We should return to Junker headquarters.
Now we're going back to the home base.
We've returned to Junker headquarters.
Ooh, that was some first day.
Now entering the building. We've entered the lobby.
Gillian, I heard about Jean.
I'm sorry. I wish I could have done more.
You performed your duties quite satisfactorily.
That's right. It's not your fault, Gillian. Don't worry about it. By the way, the chief is waiting for you.
This is the chief's office.
Well, Seed, that was a pretty rough first assignment to draw. You made a great effort, though. I've studied the data transmitted back by Metal Gear, so I know all about what happened out there. It's too bad about Gibson. He was a great junker. Seed, I need you to take over for him. You're the only one I've got left who can battle
so
this Snatcher menace.
The head junker. Let's see what we can learn. So we're talking about 2 Snatchers. Should probably search his stuff. So he's pretty diligent. Katrina, once again, is his daughter. So anything to investigate? No. Let's where should we check? Let's check the engineer room.
Well, so our new junker has returned.
I register high alcohol levels. Harry is intoxicated.
So
I really...
we're looking around
You know,
the
I
desks.
really thought you were better than that.
Found the key.
Harry!
What kind of
And
backup
now
was
we're
that
gonna
supposed to
check
be?
it out. See what's going on.
If you were a better junker
That way
than
we'll
that,
be able to determine
Jean wouldn't have had to die
who the
out there.
Snatcher is.
Harry, that statement is incorrect.
Don't worry about it, Metal. Harry's right.
Capsules
Jean.
and a disc.
Sorry, it's
Yes.
not your fault.
Metal, would you give Harry the memory
Capsule.
chip we pulled out of Little John?
Let's
Of course. Harry, this is
investigate
Little
the
John's
disc.
memory chip.
It's very outdated. Fun fact, this first came out for the PC-88, and that disc is the same system that the PC-88 uses. Kind of like Dumb and Dumber, where the one assassin has an ulcer and he needs to keep taking pills. So we don't need to take the pills. What about... Alright, we've got everything. Let's investigate the locker. Whoa, I actually quoted that line for line. Just shows you how natural the translation was. Good call, guys. Let's investigate Harry. Bottle A. Japanese sake. Randy. Numbers. 395644. Might be important later. So here in the computer room, I'll just show you some stuff. You're supposed to do a bunch of research at this point, but that's kind of boring. So we don't necessarily need to do it. But you can type in people's names, just to give you an idea. They made it easy, so you can just put the first name. So we're researching John. Let's see what it says about him. Once again, Gibson being a little illusion. Alice, name of his wife. Right. Daughter Katrina, wife killed by Snatcher.
What kind of medicine is this?
Panic.
I'll perform an analysis.
Requests and is granted transfer.
Acid inhibitors,
So
membrane
he was a
protecting
regular
agents,
detective.
H2 blockers. This
They've
is
already
medication
updated
for an
it.
ulcer.
It's pretty speedy.
Jeez. It looks
Seems
like
better than
John's stomach was
Wikipedia,
really in
which I
terrible
guess
shape.
is-
What
know
was
what
he
it's
doing
based
eating
on.
buffalo? It seems a little unusual.
Well, Wikipedia's not based on this either.
Perhaps there was some
But they're very
reason that he
simple.
had to eat buffalo.
Let's check out... Who else should we check out? Let's check out Benson. That's our boss. Anti-Snatcher Force. Foxhound. He's the Junker Chief. Served as tactical instructor in Foxhound Special Force in the 20s. Participated in the 2033 Wellington Olympics. Judo. What about Harry? What's he up to? Harry Benson. Age 55, single, originally member of government science team. He's the same age as John Jack. Gains widespread attention for his development of weapons during World War III. Well, that's kind of dark. There's his 3 Nobel Prizes, probably all for creating weapons. How about Mika? Mika Slayton, 23. A++, graduated from Kobe City University with dual major, criminal psychology and municipal data. Worked at Crime Research Lab before going to Junker Agency. Handled cases using dangerous techniques of complete simpatico with the criminals. Psychological stress made her resign. Recommendations from Junker Chief. So he recommended her, the Benson. Now, if we go through the facts, there's a bunch. Let's just do some of the cool ones. Science, space development. And Mars gets brought up a lot, but it doesn't necessarily deal with the plot, which I find interesting. I don't know. Maybe he was planning this would be a whole thing. I just clicked this one because it's, as I was saying, he shouts out some other authors which are kind of interesting. You kind of see into Hideo Kojima's personal influences. Le Guin for Ursula Le Guin. Herbert for Frank Herbert.